And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host, Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for tonight's episode of DC's Superman and Lois, Season 3, Episode 3. Some spoilers ahead. If you've not seen this episode, spoilers ahead. So go back and watch it because pretty interesting episode, especially dealing with the circumstances of what we got from last week's big shocking reveal that Lois Lane is dealing with stage 3, I guess, breast cancer. Now, we all know how that stuff is very, very bad. You know, especially when superheroes or superhero, partner characters always end up getting that stuff. It's not very good for the heroes themselves because they got to deal with it, but also dealing with the fact that the characters who actually have it also have to deal with it. You know, they go through traumatic moments. They don't want to be around people. They want to be left alone. Kind of the opposite with Lois Lane, except Lois Lane at this point is the kind of person is to basically be like, if I'm dying, then I can't physically move. I'm going back to work, and that's exactly what we got in this episode. Lois Lane being as stubborn as she is, she's supposed to be going to chemotherapy or starting her treatment, and she decides to dodge it. You know, like I said, people who deal with grief and or traumatic moments in their own way. In this case, Lois dealing with it by continue to work, which we all know Lois Lane will do that. If Lois Lane had a broken leg in this show, she will still find a way to get herself into some trouble because she's Lois Lane. She always does. And in this whole episode, literally Lois Lane is just dealing with the fact that, yeah, she's dealing with the fact she has cancer. She doesn't want to really deal with it, but she wants to just continue doing her job, which is being the biggest reporter on the planet and a nuisance to all criminals throughout the entire Superman world. So, there's that. While that's going on, you have the kids, they're dealing with their stuff as well. They're trying to deal with the fact that, yeah, Lois is dealing with this huge milestone in her life, which is, dealing with cancer. But, they don't know how to deal with, like, how can they help her? They try to figure out a way to help her. They find something sweet to do. Natalie wants to give her watch that was her mother gave her to know that, hey, Lois, we love you. We want to be there for you. She literally tells everybody, like, she has the cancer. She tells Samantha. She tells Lana Lang. Everybody pretty much knows her friend from work. They all know she has cancer. And they're all trying to basically be there for Lois. And them pushing her to go to chemotherapy, even though Lois Lane does not want to do it. To the point that Clark is having nightmares about him getting to the point where he might not be able to save her on time. There's a moment where she's in the Daily Planet and it's crumbling to the ground, and the Daily Planet logo is starting to fall on top of her, and he gets there just seconds, and each time he's having the nightmare, he feels like he's not getting there in a nick of time. He feels like he's getting there, 2 seconds later or 3 seconds later. And he's very worried about Lois. That's the love of his life, and he has no idea what to do. He's Superman, and he can't figure out a way to help his wife. And Lois is at this point saying, hey, listen, I need to deal with this my own way. Stop pushing me to do my chemo. I will worry about it when I need to worry about it. So that's Lois Lane being stubborn, I guess, in her way. Great episode, obviously. Lois Lane still dealing with the fact that she wants to find Mannheim and what exactly his new scheme is. I still think the fact that he's trying to give people superpowers, now we find out it's with blood, and we find out the blood belongs to Superman. So, because Lois discovered what the blood, she found a lab, she found blood, she wasn't sure whose blood was it. She found it out, it was Superman's blood. Her father found out. So, it gets me thinking, what if this blood is maybe gonna try to heal Lex Luthor? Maybe Lex Luthor's sick at this point, he's gonna gain superpowers. Who knows? I'm also thinking that maybe this is a way to save Lois Lane. Lois Lane gets Superman's blood somehow, or they kidnap her and try to test it on her to see if they can give her powers. Maybe she'll go crazy. But in the process, she gets the powers. Maybe she'll go crazy, just like all the other experiments these people are doing, get the powers, and maybe it's going to cure her of her cancer. 'Cause remember, the bad guys don't know she's married to Superman. And if she gets Clark's DNA, inside of her in some shape or form is going to cure her cancer. So that's a possibility. Will it happen? Hard to say. I don't think they will eventually kill Lois Lane. I just don't see them doing that. The only way I can see them doing it if they kill her and then they bring in another Lois Lane from maybe another Earth. But we've already been through that already. We don't need another one. Or maybe a clone. But then, clones don't really work out so well. So I feel like Lois Lane is going to eventually get powers. And then those powers are going to, either mess with her head. Maybe she'll go bad for a couple of episodes. Turn on the boys and Clark. And then when she gets cured, she will be actually cured of cancer because the blood of Superman will cure her. So that's my own thinking of it, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it was a very interesting episode, seeing how Lois Lane deals with cancer, which we all know how she would deal with it just by going to work anyway and just pull it off to the side. So that's Lois Lane for you. So, yeah, good episode. Now we have to wait to see what happens next week. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Do you guys think Lois Lane's gonna die in this season? Do you think she's gonna gain powers and eventually get cured by the powers that's gonna cure her? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about it. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much and have a good night.